Yo, what is up, guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. This is going to be the LEC 2021 Summer Split Week 3 recap. And joining me here today for the recap of the LEC 2021 Summer Split Week 3 is Warren. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I definitely sound more rested than earlier.
Yeah, like earlier, because I usually have to carry Warren throughout these discussion, guys, because I'm just a fucking
What?
League of Legends genius, obviously. but,
Sure.
but now you're all rested up, so what did you do today, actually?
Just a lot of studying for this course I was taking, and
Mhm.
then slept.
Yeah.
I'm a boomer, so
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Warren's like,
rest.
aren't you like
Once
30 years old, right? 32?
30, 35 now.
You're
My
35
birthday.
now. Holy
Yeah, my
shit.
birthday passed.
Oh my god, congrats, man. I didn't know, actually. I would have sent you a
Yeah, I don't.
gift. I sent you
I
a
don't.
Yankees hat.
I don't tell people my birthday. I just treat it like a normal day and keep it moving.
Yeah, I don't know, man. For like generally for my birthday, people know it, but I don't like have big celebration parties for my birthday. I don't think I've ever actually really had a birthday party, quote unquote, where people have like I don't know planned it or some shit. Honestly, like people treat me better on that day. I'll get like gifts from some friends. I'll talk to some people I don't ever talk to throughout the whole year, but they're like, hey, it's your birthday. Let's just see how this guy's doing. I mean, it's a better day than most days of the year, but I don't really care for my birthday too much. It's just another day of the year. Just happens to be the day where I graciously came into the world as God let me. But what else been going on? Do you think the LEC is actually pretty solid this split around? Because like I've been watching some of the games, and I even played back some of the games from the past 2 weeks of the LEC this split so far that we're on, which is some of these teams don't look that good though. You know?
Um, so my thing is that once you get past the top four currently for summer,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's like a toss up on it's like any given day, right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
saw, and I'm sure you're gonna get to, but I'm not gonna go in further. But we saw Vitality beat G2. We saw
Mm-hmm.
Fnatic bounce back and beat G2.
Mm-hmm.
We see Mad Lions lose. So it's like a lot of these teams are like. I felt like since 2019, no, because when was like yeah, since the end of 20 since like 29 G2 has regressed. I
In some
believe.
ways, yeah. Because ever since their 2019 peak performance, they really haven't been the same. Now, like there's a lot of things you could attribute to that, the behind the scenes problems they had, not like big problems, but like the perk situation they had, the split going to online format, them getting rid of perks, them bringing in reckless, because they lost both their games this week to Team Vitality, and they lost to Fnatic as well, which is actually pretty interesting because usually they pretty much smack around Team Vitality. I don't even think they've lost to Team Vitality in most games they faced against them ever since Vitality has like entered the league. This is from like even when G2 had like Zen and Mithy on the roster too. Like there's just usual teams you just expect teams like G2 just to beat. I would expect them to crush Team Vitality in most games ever. But you also have the Fnatic game, and the Fnatic game was really good by them. They pretty much stomped them into the dirt.
Yeah.
So was it basically the self-made change is what Fnatic needed to actually be a really good team? Like, I also want to tell people this, like, I don't know. I want to kind of get more weeks with this, but like I said last week, if Fnatic managed to actually, 2-0 this week, then this is pretty much a legitimate team. Because aren't they, like, currently in the standings, like, third place or something like that, right?
They are, I believe, tied for right now. They're tied for second.
Yeah, because currently Misfits Gaming is actually first place. Now, if you had told me that coming into this LEC 2021 Summer Split,
Well,
Misfits would
I
be first
mean, I
place.
did say they were a dark horse because they were like leveling up last year, and you're like, eh. But continue.
Yeah, because, I like to go off the results of what a team showed me, not banking on blindly optimism like Warren usually does.
I guess if I was a betting man, you've lost a lot of money so far.
And that's crazy because that's a weird way to look at things. You know what? Instead of looking at games and analysis of gameplay, you know what? Magically during the split, due to like the magical beanstalking man that'll come in and dust his nuts off on these teams' keyboards, Misfits will be just better. Usually I would normally be right in these situations, but guys, Misfits do look pretty good. They ended up going 2-0 this past week. They easily defeated Excel and they easily defeated Schalke. We had said this before that they did have an easy schedule coming up this week. Excel looked like dog shit. I'm sorry, dude. Like, here, guys, because since I know people get mad at us when we don't talk about the other teams, there's this Reddit guy, when I check the comments, I usually don't actually check, because it's mostly just a bunch of fucking loser incel pieces of shit, So you guys never talk about the other teams, you only talk about the best teams. Yeah, because if you go to any NFL discussion on YouTube, no one talks about the fucking Browns. Ever. Even Browns fans don't talk about the Browns. So
they did good last year, so I don't. That's a bad one.
That's that casual optimism, Warren. Oh my god.
They did do good last year, so I can't end the year. Okay, I would say more like they're like the Oakland. They like the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, they go 8-8. They're not a really good team. But like Astralis looks like. Well, I don't know, because we're on Excel. Like, hopefully the Young Buck and the changes that because that's the topic we're on.
Yeah. So let's talk about the bottom team. So let's start with the bottom team, SK Gaming. They got their first. Yeah. So SK Gaming got their first win, but it was against Excel. So yeah, and Excel played really bad that game. I remember watching one of their games because we watch the games before we do this. One of the games, Patrick is playing Callista, and then just randomly is on his own. Just randomly on his own, gets like kick flashed in, he dies, and they give up Baron. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's his name? Denick? He played pretty bad. Honestly, Nuke Duck has played pretty bad. He was getting like destroyed by people like Blue. He was getting destroyed by what's his name? Who's in the mid lane for Misfits? VTO?
Oh, VTO. Yeah,
VTO and Blue were just railing him this past week. Like, I felt bad. They had, because they brought in Nuke Duck to be a stable mid lane presence and a, voice on the team. That's why you bring in, Nuke Duck. But if he's gonna just be losing lane like this to these new players, I mean, why did you ever really bring him on then? And we saw in the video that Young Buck had posted, their morale has been really down, probably because they've been losing all their scrims. I could only imagine why a team's morale would be down. You've probably been losing all of your scrims, and the team's going okay, we can't make playoffs with this roster. So now they're obviously making more changes. They're bringing in their academy jungler and support for the LEC 2021 Summer Split Week 4. So if you see two different players on Excel, it's because they announced that they're going to be playing their Academy, Jungler, and Support, though. So I'm not really too sure what's going to really fix Excel, because Young Buck was all built on Dan, right? And then, obviously, he's finally willing to take Dan out. And Dan looked good the previous week, but he only really played Sejuani this week. They're like, okay, you can't carry for shit. Here's just play Sejuani, throw ults, and just do whatever. That's when you can tell teams just have given up on your ass and shit, But that's just with, Excel. Guys, they're just not that good. I don't even know if this jungle and support change will do anything for them. Who knows? They might end up go on a 15-game win streak. They might finish the split 14 and what was this 18 games. So they finished 13-5. Who knows? They might go on a 11-game winning streak. Who knows with these new roster changes? I also could be having sex right now, but you guys just would not see me, So that's how I see it right now. Schalke, here, I'll knock out Schalke easily. So it was announced that Schalke is selling their spot. There will be a new team taking Schalke Nullfear's place for the LEC 2022 Spring Split moving into next year.
BDS, Team BDS.
Team BDS, actually. So, if you're on Schalke right now, you better be playing out of your mind to have a job either on this new organization coming in, or you want to get picked up by another team. Because, looking at the Schalke games, these are also atrocious. Kire sucks really bad. He's one of the worst junglers in the league. The bot lane is not really not like they're just not good in the aspect of laning. Neo was it Neo and Limit? Yeah, Neo and Limit. No, Neon. Sorry, Neon and Limit are good, like outside of lane, but they never get any advantages in their 2v2 in bot lane, so it doesn't really matter because they're not ever winning. So Neon and Limit are a big detriment to the team. The only good player is like Nuclear Int and Broken Blade, past TSM jungler because TSM, they grew Broken Blade as a talent, obviously, to come over to EU and stomp these kids, but I think Shaka just suck. Honestly, yeah, they had a few runs for some years here or there where they got like third and one split when G2 and Fnatic got first and second. They've made one finals, which was all the way back in like 20. Yeah, the EULCS 2018 summer split. They made finals. They've made a few playoff upsets, but they really just have never made a dent in the league, though. They were in the EULCS at one point, then they finally got relegated, then they came back with franchising, and then they couldn't pay their bills because of COVID. Not like anything wrong with them because COVID affected everybody, and now it's just time for them to sell off their spot. I don't really think Schalke really ever contributed anything to the LEC anyway. Randomly, they would be doing like, they would go like fucking like 7 wins and then fail a split. Remember that one split where they went like 8 wins? They're like tied for first place with G2, and then they lost 8 games in a row. I'm sitting here going, what the fuck? Like, holy shit, this org sucks. Like, I don't know how you feel about Schalke, actually. What do you feel about them, actually? Oh, he's on the phone. Okay, so, guys, that's just my thing when it comes to Schalke.
Oh, no, I was eating an apple.
Oh, you're
I
good.
was eating an apple. I was going to say, I was looking at their team. I was eating an apple. I didn't want you guys to hear me chewing.
No, you're good.
So, Broken Blade, I feel I could see Broken Blade. Like if we look at the the teams for EU, give me 1 second on that because I don't know how to go when it comes back. I can see Broken Blade getting picked up by like I don't know. He well, would he be an upgrade over White Knight? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Would he be an upgrade over
SLT? Yes.
Mm,
Would he be an upgrade over Cries? Yes.
Well, let's be fair. SLT is only in his first split, so we don't know.
Okay.
And
he's counting Team Vitality.
Because the only reason I'm saying that is because one, they're clearly putting him in a supportive role to fit their team strategy. Is he upgrade over White Knight? I think so. I mean, White Knight had a good performance on Lee, but is he better than Cries? I think so.
He did that really bad in play. Remember in one of the games that Straws played, he was safe, he was leaving, and then he came back for CS and then died. I'm going, what the fuck? Like, what type of crap does some of these players smoke? Actually, I mean, what the fuck?
with Adam's performance, like, do I think that they're gonna put Adam? No, they just got him, and I think
they paid a lot of money for that guy. You're not switching that guy out for any time soon for Adam.
Odawamne, is he better than Odawamne? I think so. He's beaten them.
Yeah.
Has he beaten? I think they've beaten them or went up against them. So, could he replace Wonder? I don't know. I mean, he's beaten Wonder, so like.
I think he could, honestly, if Wonder decided to retire after this year or potentially go to a new team for a new challenge. I think he'll be an upgrade over pretty much every top laner.
In the bottom,
except I think teams. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to write off Genax because he's
not Genax. Though. I think he's solid. He's been playing pretty good on SK Gaming despite their whole roster being in shambles.
I mean, he's their franchise player, I believe, because they signed him to like a while ago. It was like till 2022, so he's got another year on his contract. And like I said, he's their franchise player. But like. Yeah, Nuclear Int, I feel bad because that guy is coming into a new situation because of Abadage and they were trying to get money. The Schalke club. So like I feel bad, but hopefully he gets good experience and maybe we could see him on another team. Who knows? Like maybe XL or SK Gaming. Who knows? But Neon and Limit. I don't know. Neon has had some good Limit. I don't know. I
They're
don't know
not
if I.
bad players. They're just not good in lane. They're good outside of lane, but that's like but that inherently is a problem though. If you are gonna get stopped so hard in lane, whatever you do outside of the lane is like insignificant. They're gonna be a huge detriment to their team no matter what they go on. You know, that's the issue
Right.
though. But let's be honest, that no one would take them as a package. But like that's the issue you would take when coming with these players though. I don't think any of these players really should be picked up outside of like Nuclear Int and Broken Blade. So if you're on
Oh,
this
Broken
team,
Blade might go back to NA. I can see him doing
hey,
that.
go back to 100 Thieves, man. You know, play with closer Abadake.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I
No,
think
they can't
someday.
because of the import rules and shit. You know,
No,
there's like
someday isn't someday a citizen now or going to be?
no. Closer and Abadake are imports, unless Broken Blade has a green card. I don't know about, but I don't really see Schalke as good. Like when I heard the news they were gonna get like their spot sold, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see what this new team can do because I had never seen shit from Schalke ever. What have they really ever did?
And
Nothing.
their logo is dog shit. Like I'm sorry. When you support teams, like sometimes the logo matters. Like XL's logo looks better than Team BDS. Like it looks like something out of like a Geico logo.
Holy shit.
But that's what I have to say about Shop. Kire, I don't know. I don't know.
Trash. He's just
Maybe
trash.
Dylan Falco might like. Sometimes we don't blame the coaches. Like I don't know. Maybe Dylan Falco isn't doing his job either. So like
Like, dude, the narrative for this guy was like, oh well, he's super high rated in solo. He's super high ranked in solo queue. So is probably like 10 other people. What does that mean?
I mean, because he knows the game, but like to be fair, like with that, because like look at the analysts on the desk, like they talk a lot, but they don't actually. None of them. I don't think. I think Kobe for instance for NA is like masters, but like Captain Flowers plays normals, and I'm not saying that because like we're lower ranked too, but you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying because they're on a bigger stage,
Mm-hmm.
their input is like it's not null and void, but it's like how are you telling me about something? Yeah, you look at the metrics and the items and everything,
Mm-hmm.
how you say anything, but like he is actually good. It could be just it could be for Schalke team synergy, like. Maybe they might have to put back in Gilius, like
I
that.
would because Kira sucks, man. I look at these games. This dude's trash. Like I don't see why they switched out Gilius though. Maybe it was like team dynamic, team culture, all that like fucking bullshit. I'm just not seeing what he does. He's just not good. Like sure he's higher ranked in solo queue. Are you telling me they couldn't picked out any of the EU Master junglers? What about all these EU players they're supposed to be building up over there? You can't take any of those guys. You have to take Kire. I'm like, oh my god, get this fucking org out of the league, man. I'm good on these guys. Astralis, I don't think Astralis. It's hard to really tell. They lost both games this week, right?
Yeah, they did.
They
They two and
lost. They lost to Rogue and Fnatic, which are teams that are better than them.
top of the standings right now.
True.
So
I would say just get like it's not even get rid of someone. They're just not playing good either. Like they had a pretty good week 2, but coming into this week, I just didn't really see it. Honestly, them losing to Fnatic was, I mean, pretty much a given at that point in time. Like
I mean,
the weirdest upset was still G2 versus Vitality this week. I'm like, what the fuck? G2 actually lost to these guys?
if we had to look at positions, who do we take out of? Do we keep Zanzara? I don't know.
Well, you don't like that guy. I forgot.
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. This is the only good thing Australis did compared to all the other org is they kept because remember Nuke Duck stepped down, right? So
Hmm.
this roster is like played together. I think most likely to go
Hmm.
probably is their bot lane.
I would say so. Like Promiscu and Jessica to me really aren't that good. They're not even really a serviceable bot lane. They pretty much are just as bad as Neon and Limit, and they're worse outside of lane too. I just don't really think this team is that good. I honestly don't think they're going to be doing anything. Will they make playoffs? Probably not. But and will they be 10th place? Probably not because SK Gaming are like, you know what, Astralis, we got that for you. We'll be
I
9th
mean,
or 10th place
I
for
mean,
you.
Lilip looks better uh this game against
Look looked
XL.
really good on his set game. He looked really good because he played what set support. He looked good on that
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, and to be fair, treats like he's been like I said, he played Nidalee. In order to play Nidalee, you have to be mechanically good on that champion.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot play like Nidalee. Like you don't see a lot of. Why do you don't think you don't see Yankos play Nidalee?
Not anymore. Yeah, he's old man mechanic now.
So
Those
so
old man mechanics are kicking in.
so like could we see? I could potentially
Mm-hmm.
see SK getting the sixth spot if things change up because Janex looks like he really wants to get to playoffs. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
been playing out of his mind, and they got Blue back too. So
Yeah, they did look better with Blue this week. Lilip did play better than Jez's, but like let's be honest here, that's to be expected. The That's pretty much it for the bottom of the table LEC teams. Astralis, they could have range to do better or worse, give or take their matchups moving forward. Excel are making roster changes. Name a more iconic duo than that. Schalke's going to be out of the league. I think most of these players suck outside of Nuclear Int and Broken Blade. SK Gaming, Blues back. Lilip is in for Jezis. I think Lilip played pretty well on his set game this past weekend for the LEC. So let's see how these bottom of the table teams do. Team Vitality showed up in a big way. They beat G2 and they ended up taking out who was the other team? Mad Lions actually. So they took out
correct.
the previous split winners in G2 and Mad Lions, which is good. The only real issue with the roster is a lot of their decision making is pretty questionable, but that probably is in partly due to the fact that, this is still pretty much a new team. They literally have a new top jungle and mid laner. So it's going to be a little bit of time to really get some type of synergy down.
And to be fair, we have to be fair. Like this is way bigger of an improvement considering their past splits with Vitality with who they had. Like we were, all of us were questioning like Shigenda, Shekelad. Wait, was Shekelad on that team
No, no,
or
no, no. That was Shigenda,
Melissa,
Malixa,
Melissa
Labrov,
and
trash.
Skeens
Labrov was straight up garbage, and so was Malixa. I was like, holy fuck.
and Skeens, your brother. He was.
Oh, damn, damn. So, is
Yeah,
Affable your
those.
granddad or some shit?
No, he's on the corner right now.
He's
Uh,
on your plantation? Is that where he's at?
no, he's on the corner making money, putting his leg out. Uh, Skeens. So they had Skeens, Shigenda,
Malixa and yeah,
well,
those guys are all bad.
and comp,
Those
and
guys
then
are bad. Like the whole
so
roster was bad.
only person that's left out of that whole roster was LeBron.
And he wasn't that good either. I'm gonna be honest with you, he wasn't that good either. Like,
No, but he's been playing pretty good
mm-hmm,
with Crown Shot. So clearly he like that's like a basically. It's funny they actually did an SK if you think about it.
mm-hmm,
Because remember, look, when SK did that first change, the only person that was left was Genax,
mm-hmm.
and then they put in a whole new roster. So Vitalik already is doing better that they did past splits and even the spring split. Their aspirations as worlds, which is pretty high for a team that just
Mm-hmm.
got formed. Can they do it? Possibly. Self-made. What he's been to worlds how many times?
Just last
Uh,
year.
well, he didn't go the year before.
He was just in 2020 Worlds. That's it.
Who? Well, Broxo was in 2019.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So he's got world experience,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. So he brings that, and he's been on a veteran team, so he can bring a lot of experience to that team as well. Um, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Vitality challenges. They could be a dark horse in playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw them in the semifinals.
Uh, I think to have that happen, every single thing would have to come online for the team. Do I see it happening? It's very possible. I'll say
It's a
that.
possibility. It's not like we're
Yeah,
not like saying that it cannot happen. It's
it's
possible.
definitely possible. Mad Lions, they looked they lost to Team Vitality and they lost to SK Gaming. Is it still the MSI hangover actually
And
for
this
them?
SK game, man, what are you talking about?
No, no, no. I said they lost to Team Vitality and they beat SK Gaming.
Oh, they beat. You said they lost to SK
Did
Gaming.
I? I don't fucking remember. I'm old, dude. I'm old as fuck. I lost my memory. I'm gonna have Crystal 4 fucking dementia after talking to League of
uh,
Legends fans.
yeah, yeah. SK Gaming win was expected. The Team Vital. I think maybe they underestimated them.
They had to have. They were making all these stupid dives. Then Vitality got control of the game, and then after that, Mad Lions tried doing a Baron. They failed doing the Baron, and then Vitality just won after that. I was like, okay. And they also gave self-made Evelyn. Pretty much giving over the game right there. I mean, he's like the best Evelyn to me in Europe whenever he plays it. So, Mad Lions are okay. I also want to see how far they can actually scale up during the split. Like, I don't even know how they're taking the split. Are they just taking the weeks as is? Like they just want to like still improve, but not go too hard before playoffs, or do they just want to basically just play good and show people that they're still not MSI hungover? Because if you looked at this game, it shows that they're not really MSI hungover. They just make bad macro decisions. Like a lot of their decisions were just really bad. So that's all I gotta say about Mad Lions. They're not a bad team, but we'll see how they step up in week
Yeah,
4.
they progress.
G2, Rogue, Fnatic, and Misfits Gaming are the top 4 teams. So G2 lost both games this week. They lost to Team Vitality and they lost to Fnatic. The Fnatic game was a stomp. The Vitality game was also not clean by them as well. A lot of people have been like theorizing that, well, this is a hunch that they play more safer because they have Reckless now. Like, I don't think it's because of that. I think a lot of, because without Perks as the X factor for G2, they're just basically a really good LEC team. Perks was that X factor for them. But having I don't think Reckless causes them to play defensive. They still play the same. Like, a defensive team does not put their mid laner on Nocturne. That's not a defensive team. Like,
No, you would put if you're gonna play more like supportive, like you're trying to say, they'd play like Galio, TF, Karma,
mhm,
stuff like that, or safer champion, like safer champions too. I think
mhm.
I think G2 just been on a regression. They're just not the same like innovative and
Also,
like
the meta doesn't call for that kind of innovation either.
true. Well, I mean, Akali's a popular. Silas is popular. These are champs that
They didn't
I've
take the
seen.
Silas in our Fnatic game. They blind picked Nocturne, and they let Niski have Silas. Remember, that's the crazy
So,
thing.
so like these are all a chance I've seen Caps play. Is it? I I don't know. Like I am I gonna blame Reckless? No, he's actually
Playing
a
pretty
better.
well.
He's a better ADC than Perks ADC wise.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on with like synergy and drafting, and that also plays a factor. So
Hmm.
listen? I would not G2 fans, MSK. I would not
Can I get
be
some hopium?
surprised. No, I would not be surprised if G2 doesn't make it to Worlds.
That would be that'd be terrifying. That'd be
it's
like man. I don't know if I could do
not,
videos for a week if that
but
happened.
but like you can't disagree on that. Like with the way Misfits is playing, with the way Rogue's playing, with the
Hmm.
way Fnatic's playing, with the
There
way
because there seems to be like a lack of killer instinct on their roster. You would think with like Wonder, Yankos, Caps, Reckless, and Mickey X, there would be like this inherent ability to play more aggressive. Like, they put Mickey X on Pantheon this past week, and he was making a lot of aggressive plays, just really was never translating into anything. Like, their drafting has been super, super predictable. Their moves around the map have gotten really predictable. They're not like so far ahead and away the best team like they were in the past with Perks, and I think they've just gotten figured out. So moving forward, they're gonna have to come up with some interesting creative strategy to actually win like they used to in the past, because Perks was the defining, factor over the roster for as long as he's been on it. Now, obviously, you don't have that, and fucking you're seeing where this is actually gone to. Why in the world are they blind picking Nocturne and just throwing away Silas, Callista, and Taric? I'm just like, all right. And also, when you're playing against like Upset and with Fnatic, Upset's Upset can match Reckless. That's perfectly fine. So can Hylissang can match Mickey X. So the bot lanes are pretty even in my own personal opinion. So it just pretty much leads to the better top sides. But now that they have Adam, Adam can handle Wonder. Whipple Jungle should not be handling Gankos, but fucking crazy, right? You know what's crazy? The Fnatic versus G2 esports record of all time is Fnatic is 25 to 38. G2 is 38 to 25 all time. That is such a lopsided record for that.
To be fair, G2 always had like better, like
They've
remember you
always
got
kind of had better teams though.
better teams. Like it's like up until what 2020 ending of
18,
2019,
28.
19 Fnatic started like getting like you would always basically in contentions Fnatic and G2 for Worlds. Those were like the
You know
banking.
what's crazy? Since 2020, LEC all time, just since 2020, not all time record. Fnatic is 4 wins, 13 losses. G2 is 13 wins, 4 losses. Oh my god. The records are so lopsided. But like, it's so crazy how like you have these two organizations just keep like fighting back and forth. But like, Fnatic really haven't been better than G2 since like there was 1 year they were just better than them the whole year. That was like 2018. Outside of
Yeah,
that, G2's just been massively better like every single year. But you know, they can still beat them in the regular season. Like we'll have to see later on when they face each other again because yeah, I'm pretty sure they face each other again coming up in I think like week 5 or something like that actually. So, we'll see how that will go actually. But yeah, G2 definitely having some interesting gameplay which is going like what the hell, like it's just not been looking good, you know. I don't know, like do they just stay a relatively okay LEC team? They're probably always just going to be a good LEC team, which is what they're going to be stuck at right now with Reckless. I don't think Reckless makes them worse. I just think they're just playing bad as a whole. The last teams to focus on,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple people leave from G2 at the end of this split.
They've been together for a long time. I'd expect it. Yankos to Cloud9.
No,
All right.
that's
Warren Soul always casually optimistic unless it's teams he absolutely despises.
you're trading an older player for a new a younger player. That makes no sense. That literally makes no sense.
As long as he
That's
has the
like
hands, man. He's got the hands.
that's like asking Jesuits to go back to playing support again. Like that
I
makes
would
no
blow
sense.
my fucking brains out. We saw that. We don't need to see that again.
Bro,
Rogue,
bro.
Rogue actually, Rogue is an okay team. They're not as good as they were last split because Larson has just been playing a lot worse. I they're just
Oh,
a standard.
because of the meta, the meta.
They're just a. They're not
He,
a bad team.
I
All
mean,
is just Larson's just playing worse. That's it.
I mean, he said it. He said it in he said it to. I think it was an interview with Lore. He was like, "Yeah, this isn't my meta because it's not really controlled mages."
Mm-hmm.
Even though we saw in LCS, to be fair, not to like
Mm-hmm.
question Larson, we saw in the LCS we saw PoE play Oriana and he's played Azir too. So like maybe people say the thing is people say champions aren't good, but until you see them and you actually play them, and with the recent item bust, the AP items prior, we don't know how strong they are, right? So the mages might be good, but because the power picks are Akali and Silas and Lucian
Mm-hmm. But in the
and
LEC, we've seen mages get played. Teams have played Rise, Azir, champions like
uh,
Nocturne mid. There's other champions you can win with. I just don't think he's good enough on those champions. Like most people know that Larson's a good mid laner, but the best mid laners ever will always have metas where they can't play certain champions. But it's not the champions itself. He's just individually playing worse though. I think he's
uh,
just playing worse as a whole.
I mean, if he's playing worse, then the record shouldn't be as good as there is.
Well, he does have good teammates around him. He does have Hansama and Trimby, who are a solid bot lane. Otawamne's been pretty solid
like,
top laner.
well, I
Inspire's been
mean,
a pretty good jungler, though.
let's be honest. We can't. I think
Let's
you
be
me and you.
honest.
Let's be honest. Like we can both agree
Mm-hmm.
that if Misfits play that last fight really good against Rogue differently, they should be 7-0, and they should be 4-3 right now, not
Mm-hmm.
5-2.
Mm-hmm. Because my thing here, because we'll talk about Misfits and Fnatic. Fnatic are obviously like right now 5-2. Misfits Gaming is 6-1. Misfits, if they didn't lose that game to Rogue, which was really close, they'd be undefeated right now, which would be fucking crazy. Misfits beat Schalke. Misfits also took down Excel, so they had a relatively easy week. Same with Rogue. Rogue also took down Astralis and
I think
Schalke.
the I was looking the best team that they've beaten. So they've beaten. So the teams that they have beaten is Fnatic and Vitality. So they've beaten two teams that have beaten other good teams. So
Mhm.
out of their wins, after looking now, because I think they have what, three more games before they hit the mid-season.
Mhm.
This I'm not sure if this is super week. I think the ending of the split is be super week. So we're about to hit the mid-season. Yeah, Rogue to me, Odawane's been fine. Inspired, brought out the
They're
Jargon
just
one
always
game.
this. They're just always the same team. They're pretty much just a standard team, outside of like Inspired playing like fiddlesticks in some games, and Larson playing a bit worse than he normally is. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they'll be doing as good in playoffs as they normally do. For Misfits, they've looked like the best team so far in the LEC. They look like they have the most cleanest macro decisions, the cleanest map choices when it comes to making choices around the map. Most of the players are doing really well in their own individual
Honestly,
matchups. Hmm.
wait, so you're doing Misfits first? Yeah. So we're doing Misfits first. I would, I would, I, this might be a little hot tech, but I would put Hear It as MVP
So
of
far.
so far.
Hmm.
Like he's been having like some pop off performances, especially in the top lane against some pretty good top laners, you would say.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, so yeah, I'd put Herod in the conversation of MVP for the split.
No, I would. It's just I don't know who would I pick for MVP right now because I don't know, because like right now, I don't see any like true standout players that truly carry their team outside of like Hear It right now for Misfits. Or maybe Upset. I would put an Upset for Fnatic. I think he's been a pretty nice driving force for Fnatic though. But 80 season being MVP is like
Yeah, right.
fucking
And I and I
real
I
iffy.
definitely I definitely would put Adam as rookie of the split for
Yeah, he's
sure.
been playing
If he
really well.
if he keeps going like this, he's gonna get. There's no question that he would get rookie of the split. So hands down.
Misfits face Mad Lions and G2 coming up this week. So if they want to be and solidify themselves as the best team in the LEC, them taking down Mad Lions and taking down G2 would definitely do
Either,
that.
yeah, if they go 1-1, it's still good. If they go
Yeah.
2-0, that solidifies them.
Now if they go 0-2, that's gonna be like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? But to be fair, it's how they end, and we also take into account. I just want to take into account too, like
Mm-hmm.
before we get into Fnatic.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Mad Lions last split. I think they ended up like fourth or something like
They're in
that,
like
or
third, like with a record like
third.
14 and something. 13 and
Right.
5.
Yeah, and so they weren't guaranteed. I don't know what but they had like third or fourth, and nobody didn't see them winning. So like maybe these teams play bad, but then come playoff time, we get playoff G2 and playoff Rogue, or
Mm-hmm.
it goes on and on. So, but to end off on the um Rogue, I'm sorry, Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
Kabe's been pretty. Vander has showed why he's still a good top.
Best
I'd
support
say
so far in the league. Best support so
top.
far.
Uh,
Maybe. We'll see.
top three for sure. Top three for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Kabe's been, Kabe's has been always been like a reliable once he gets out of lane, he's gonna win the team
Mm-hmm.
fight type of ADC. VTO has stepped up in his champion pool. He's played the Silas, he's played the Zoe, he's played the Lee Sin that game, one of those games. So, and then here he's just been good. Like,
Yeah, he's just been one of the best top laners in the league so far, along with Adam, which is crazy. There was like these old guard top laners for EU, but now having these new guys is good. I always like change so far. The last thing to talk about today, guys, is Fnatic. They went 2-0. They took down Astralis and took down their longtime rivals in G2 Esports. The
Match of the
G2 Esports game match of the week was a stomp. Fnatic beat the shit out of them.
Oh, was it a stop? I mean, okay.
It's pretty stompish, man. Like
That
it was
that mid lane
close.
fight decided the game.
It was close up until like where you said, and they had a nice 2 kill that Mickey got on Pantheon. Literally outside, literally when they got to that mid lane fight, it was over. It was actually a stomp after that. They had no chance to win.
And the Baron fight was just so predictable. Like it was like I know they're gonna Tarek R that. Like you're not going to like Rumble and then they're just useless.
Do you think
Not to say
Tarek
this.
comes back now that Hylissang picked it in this game?
I think it was for well, if you look at that comp, like
G2's
Rumble.
comp was what? Viego, Rumble, Nocturne, Jin, and Pantheon? Yeah, a Tarek would
Right.
be nullifies everything. That one champ nullifies everything.
Yeah, Tarek and Braum are so good against a very melee heavy comp.
Mm-hmm.
So like he nullifies most of their damage to begin with, and
Mm-hmm.
Jin's the only one that can like do anything, which I don't think Jin should be honestly being played right now. Um, when you have Varus and I
Mm-hmm.
think people are downplaying Tristan. I think she's still good. I think as well. Kai'Sa's still good. LPL still playing Kai'Sa too as well.
LPL plays anything and everything. You can't. Good lord, they'll not play. Even if a champion gets nerfed into the fucking dirt, the LPL decides to play it.
Yeah, they still value Renekton like it's the Gold Rush. So but Fnatic, I'll also take into account that if the game went any longer, Fnatic um
went even harder.
no, they don't actually.
Really? Because
Like
like G2's composition is all basically diving. Pantheon diving in, Rumble ulting, Viego going in, Nocturne going in, Jin just staying in the back.
well,
That's all their comp is. Like,
let's see. G2 had Nocturne. Jin's gonna scale. Jin's gonna do. If Jin had one more item, he literally 2 shots. Basically, every everyone down from Renekton,
mm-hmm,
from Zhao, Viego outscales,
mm-hmm,
Rumble scales, and then the thing is Silas is such a good pick. It's because it's like yoink, I take Nocturne, like yoink, I take Rumble, I take
mm-hmm,
Viego, and then like um he and then even Pantheon because that's a way of engaging, right? Which
mm-hmm,
I don't know if you want to take that, but like on a scaling aspect, they would kind of beat them out. But then like because Kalista is short range,
mm-hmm,
and Jin outranges them, so he just has to play behind. So they really smashed because look at the game time too. It was a 27 and a half minute game. Like if that game goes to like another 7 minutes or even 10 minutes, I don't see Fnatic winning. So they had to play this
mm-hmm.
game. I mean, Silas does scale. I'm not gonna lie, but I just don't see it.
Yep. That's pretty much it for this past week for the LEC 2021 summer split. Lots of great games, lots of interesting drafts these teams are coming up with. I can't wait to see the matches this week. Anything else you want to say, man, before we close out of this?
Uh, Nice to see that SK got a win. Still rooting for them. I don't care what org you are. It's not fun when you see an org is 0 and
6,
whatever
0-5, whatever the
zero
fuck
si-
they were.
0-6 or like last year where Schalke and I think even Vitalium had like 0 records.
They were just doing.
It's
Oh
bad.
my god, yeah, I hate looking
Yeah,
at that shit.
it's just bad for the org. They potentially lose fans, and so I'm just gonna say like sometimes I'm not saying root for these teams, but just try not to be so rough on a team because you never know. But it's just nice to see them pick up a win now. I don't know what's gonna do going forward, but let's see. This next week should be fun. Are you doing predictions or is that for the next? That's for tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's for tomorrow. So.
Yes, for tomorrow. Yeah. All right. So, anything else you want to say, man, before we head out? That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
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 G2 is gonna win the split, right?
No.
Okay, loved ending it on that. Fnatic.
I will. Misfits is gonna win the split.
Warren had a hot take. Warren said G2 is not making worlds this year. Hot take right there. All right, guys. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing. Way of Life Esports is signing out, guys. Peace. Have a good day. See you guys later. And deuces. Goodbye.